one body. There's one body. Now, first of all, you can't be a part of the body if you don't follow the head. You understand? In which case would be Commander General Yana. You know what I mean? If you don't follow the head, if you don't follow Christ, if you don't follow the generals, you know what I mean, you are not even a part of the body because they are the head of the body. All right? There's one body. You know, you got these cats out here and they saying basically that, you know, the whole nation of Israel is a part of the body. You know what I mean? That's what they say. The whole nation of Israel is a part of the body or what have you. But that can't be the case if you got 10 heads. There's one head per body. You understand? Let's read on. Like, and it's like, and another thing to even note, with that being said, is that, you know, the nation was even divided during the time of Christ. You understand? The nation was divided during the time of Christ. So, you know, how could that be that the whole nation of Israel is the body? You understand? Even Christ had enemies. You understand? Christ had enemies. That's why he said, who would send Luke, you know what I'm saying? If I would not rule over them, bring them hither, you know what I mean, and slay them before me. Paraphrasing. Bring my enemies before me. You understand? Like Christ had enemies during his time period. You know what I mean? The nation was divided during the time of Christ. You know what I mean? Yet and still, Christ was the body, you know what I mean? And the disciples and everyone that rode with Christ, they was the body of the Most High during that time period. You understand? Let's read on. In one spirit, you know what I mean? Like we're all supposed to be in the same spirit. All right? We're all supposed to be in the same spirit. Not in the same spirit. Well, I'll get to that. Let's read on. Even as ye are called in one hope of your calling. You know what I mean? We all supposed to have one spirit, even as ye are called in one hope of your calling. You know what I mean? Like there's one mission. There's one mission. Our mission is to, you know, labor until Christ is sitting on his throne, ruling all the nations. You understand? Bringing back the 144,000 under Christ, giving Christ the glory that he deserves is our mission. You understand that? All right, so let me see Salakia. One Lord. You know what I mean? That one Lord, that's talking about Christ. You understand? One faith. You know what I mean? One faith. It's only one place where you can do the work. You know what I mean? This is the only, it say faith, the scriptures say faith without works is dead. You know what I mean? And oftentimes you got cats, they going out here and they thinking that they doing the work, but in reality they not doing the work. You understand? They not doing the work. That's why it says there's one faith. You know what I mean? Let's read on. And one baptism. One baptism. What is baptism? Baptism is what, you know, when you've been taught. So there's one teaching. You know what I mean? Like there can't be, you know, you can't have brothers saying that you can have multiple wives. Then you got other brothers saying you can't have multiple wives. You understand? You can't have brothers saying that Esau would be the correlates the Esau would be the the white man today. And then you got other cats saying that the Arabs is Esau. You understand? Like, you can't have differences in the teachings. There's one teaching. You understand? This is the criteria for the body. All right? And if you don't fit this criteria, if whatever your perception is that the body is in opposition to the criteria that is set in the scriptures, in our records, you know what I mean? Certainly you are in error. All right? Let's read on. One God and Father of us all. You know what I mean? One God and Father of us all. Meaning there's only one Most High. One Most High. If the whole nation of Israel was the body, then that would mean that Christians are a part of the body. And Christians, what do they believe in? They believe in the Holy Trinity. You understand? Like, the Christians believe in Holy Trinity. So now, are the Christians a part of the body as well? Because, you know, they don't have the knowledge that they might not have the knowledge that they Israelites. You know what I mean? Yet and still, they so-called Black, Hispanic, or Native Indians, they are Israelites. So because they follow Christianity and they believe that there's a Holy Trinity, are they a part of the body? No, they are not a part of the body. You understand? Let's read on. Who is above all? One Father of us, one God and Father of us all, who is above all. Who is above all. There's no one above the Most High, man. You know what I mean? There's some cats that will try and attempt to exalt themselves above the Most High and try to make themselves equivalent to the Lord and steal the glory that belongs to Him. You understand? Let's read on, though. That's pretty much it on that. I mean, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna drop that right there, and then I'm gonna slide over to 1 Corinthians 1 and 10. All right, 1 Corinthians 1 and 10. We'll move over to there. All right, like, you have to fit the criteria to be a part of the body. If at any moment you find yourself lacking any of the criteria that come with being a part of the body, then you can safely conclude that you are not a part of the body of Christ. All right. Let's read on, though. Let's go to 1 Corinthians. What I said. Oh, no, I went to 10. Salaki. Did I say 1 to 10? Yeah, 1 to 10. Salaki. Bear with me 1 second and get right there. 1 Corinthians 1 to 10. Corinthians 1 and 10. All right, let's read. 1 Corinthians chapter 1 and verse 10. Let's see if I want to read up a little bit. Now we read right here. Now I beseech you, brethren. Right? Now I beseech you, brethren. Okay. So this is Paul. He's talking to his brothers. He's talking to his blood brothers. All right. Now I beseech you, brethren, by the name of our Lord Jesus Christ, Yahweh Shah Mashiach, that ye all speak the same thing. You understand? That ye all speak the same thing. What does that mean? This is how you know the Isupk is the home of the truth. You understand? Because we all speak the same thing. What does it mean? Speak the same thing? It's talking about teach the same thing. All right? So whatever was passed down in Philly to New York is taught in New York. Whatever was passed down in New York to Boston is taught in Boston. You understand? And the same is applicable to the whole nation. You know what I mean? meaning everyone that's in the UPK, whether you in Trinidad, whether you in Puerto Rico, Haiti, Dominican Republic, wherever this truth is dropped, you know what I mean? You teach what you have been taught. That's how it works. You know what I mean? All right. Let's read on. No. Oh, Salakia. And then another thing on that note, right? I don't know why this keeps doing that. Hold on, bear with me 1 second. I might have to drop this thing. All right. Let me see. No sweat. All right, yeah. So Salakia, like I was saying. Oh man, here we go again. Like I was saying, it's ridiculous. Like I was saying, let's read that one more time. 1 Corinthians 1:10. Now I beseech you, brethren. Oh, this is Paul speaking. He talking to his brothers, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, so-called. By the name of our Adawan, our Lord Jesus Christ, that ye all speak the same thing. You know what I mean? Our stance on baptism is the stance that is going to be, upheld and taught throughout the whole world. You understand? Throughout the whole earth, it's going to be taught. What was taught to us that baptism is what we will teach what baptism is. What was taught to us about the mark of the beast is what we will teach about the mark of the beast. What was taught to us about, immaculate deception is what we will teach about immaculate deception. You understand? And we all teach the same exact thing. You understand? Now, this is the question that I pose. How can we all be the body if we have those doctrinal differences that we talked about? If we had the doctrinal differences where someone says that, rape is permissible to some degree, whatever you claim it to be, but someone says that rape is permissible by the law to a certain degree, or someone says on another hand that it's right for brothers and sisters in the world to be killed because it's the judgment of the Most High. Who gives a damn about them? All of these things, what I mean, and they conflict with each other. You know what I mean? They're in opposition to one another. Meaning the brothers saying you can't rape, you saying you can rape. One brother saying you can have multiple wives, other brother saying you can't have multiple wives. You know what I mean? One cat saying that women have to wear dresses all the time, they can't wear pants, and then you got brothers saying, women can wear pants as long as they, were made for a woman. You understand? Like that's what you have to lock in on. Like this is the truth. You know what I mean? Like you got to be able to humble yourself in order to even receive the truth. Like if you just think about it and you thinking on a realistic level, you know what I mean, and you ask yourself the question, am I in the truth? You know what I mean? When you hearing things like this, that, you know what I mean, we all supposed to speak the same thing, and you saying you in the truth, but you don't have, you saying you in the truth and we all in the truth, yet and still we have doctrinal differences. You know what I mean? Now, we say that not everyone is in the truth because we have doctrinal differences, and, we go to our records where it validates what we're saying, because it says the same exact thing that we're saying, that we all speak the same thing. You understand? Who's right and who's wrong? You got, like everyone will agree that precept must be upon precept, but I've yet to see a valid argument using the scriptures that proves that everyone is in the truth. Everyone has the truth. The whole nation is the body. You know what I mean? I've never seen the scripture that said, that's the case. However, the only thing that I do see is, where it says the exact opposite. You know what I mean? So if somebody could help me out and let me know where and how, we can all be in the truth if we have those doctrinal differences. You know what I mean? I would appreciate it. It would help me out a little bit so I could see, where you struggling at. You know what I mean? Or what you think? I mean, what you think, and you really thinking, and about the scriptures or what have you. You know what I mean? Because I've yet to see it. You know what I mean? There's a few joints that, are frequently used to substantiate the claims that everybody is in the body. However, those precepts, those precepts that have been interpreted, inaccurately, have been proven that they have been interpreted inaccurately. You understand? So, we got to come with something else that hasn't been disproven. You know what I mean? We'll get to that. We'll get to this frequent thing that is being used. You know what I mean? However, if there's anything that, anyone has to say, we can all be in the truth. We all have the truth, and we're all the body as it stands today, given the circumstances that you have with different operations and administrations going on and things of that nature that do not work towards the same mission, the same goal. You know what I mean? You're gonna have to bust it down for a priest. You know what I mean? So with that being said, let's read on. That ye all speak the same thing, and that there be no divisions among you. You understand? That there be no divisions among us. You know what I mean? Like, because of what we teach, we will never be unified, because we all have different things that we are teaching. Until we can come together collectively and, find a resolve to whatever doctrinal differences that we have, you know what I mean, there will always be division among us. You know what I mean? Meaning, if you try to lump us all into one, you know what I mean? Of course, there's no division among, the UPK, you know what I mean? Like, there's no division there. You understand? However, but if you're trying to lump us all in as one, now that's where the problem lies, because, you know what I mean, it say there should be no divisions among us, but there will be divisions among us. Read on. But that ye be perfectly joined together in the same mind. You know what I mean? Like, we be perfectly joined together in the same mind. Like what? Like, meaning that we all thinking the same things. You understand? Like, I don't know how many times, like, you could ask a brother, I done been in situations where, I've stepped off the scene and there was another brother there that I rode with that was still on the scene, and somebody new to the scene asked that brother a question, right? And, the brother give his response, his reply. And when I come back to the scene, the same brother asked me the same question that he just asked that brother. And I give him the same exact answer that the brother just gave him 5 minutes ago, and I wasn't even there. You understand? I gave him the same exact answer. That happened many a times. You know what I mean? Or you could ask a brother. It don't matter how many brothers you ask the same question, they all gonna say the same thing. You understand? Why is that? Because we perfectly joined together in there. You know what I mean? Of the same mind. We think the same things. You know what I mean? But it's not the things that we are thinking of our own mind. But in fact, what we are thinking is what the Most High told us to think. That's why we think like that. That's why we all have, you know what I mean? Because we teach what we've been taught, and we learned what has been passed down. You know what I mean? What other brothers have been taught, and the other brothers have been taught. They have taught other brothers, and those brothers taught other brothers, and they teach the same thing. And you know what I mean? We learn it and we live it. You know what I mean? And we think like that. That's why when you you ask them brothers them questions, or you call for counsel or something like that, and you might ask multiple brothers, a question, whatever your question may be in regards to your situation. You know what I mean? The response that you're going to get from everybody is going to be, exactly the same. You know what I mean? Not saying that we'll use the same exact phrase, but in essence, what you're being told is going to be the same thing. You know what I mean? But however, even still, oftentimes we say the same judgment. You know what I mean? And in the same judgment, you know what I mean? Like, in the same mind, in the same judgment, like, you know what I mean? Lord, we ain't no respecter of persons, man. You understand? We're not a respecter of persons. If a brother offends, he offends. You know what I mean? If a brother is wrong, he wrong. If a brother stole, he stole. You know what I mean? If a brother lied, he lied. You understand? It don't matter if, you know what I mean, he's a high-ranking man or a low-ranking man or in the middle somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Don't matter. All right? So, that being said, let's go to 1 Corinthians 12 and 25. All right? We'll keep it pushing. All right? 1 Corinthians 12 and 25. And while I do that, before I do that, y'all bear with me on the matter of fact, I know what I'm gonna do. Cause the brother ain't sound off. You understand? So I'm gonna get him right real quick. You understand? 12 and 25, y'all get there with me. I just gotta make sure that this joint get done real quick, all right? You understand? Hey, Shalom, Lord of Christ. Salakia. Check the text message that I sent you. Oh, all right, Most High in Christ. You know what I'm saying? You ain't sound off. No sweat. All right, priest, the water. All right, Shalom, Lord of Christ. All right, no sweat. Yeah, so let's get back to it. We're going to go to 1 Corinthians 12 and 25. All right. 1 Corinthians chapter 12 and verse 25. All right. That there should be no schism, right? Like, once again, we seeing the same thing over and over again. That's why the scriptures say precept upon precept. You understand? That there should be no schism. What is a schism? A schism is no different than a division, a separation, or what have you. You know what I mean? That there should be no schism. Let's read on. In the body. There should be no schism in the body. There should be no separations, no divisions in the body. Now, what is this talking about? You know what I mean? This meaning that, let's read on. But that the members should have the same care one for another, right? The driving point, the thing that is being, the the thing that's being, what do you call, the point that's being stressed the most here is that division, is unacceptable. Like, we're not supposed to be divided, in that sense, in any sense where, in a spiritual sense. In the spirit, we're not supposed to be divided. You know what I mean? Like, uh, yeah, you'll have brother, he got camp over here and camp over there. Like, we ain't all coming to the one camp or what have you. Or we don't all got to wear the same clothes. Or, brother can have his own style or what have you. You know what I mean? We ain't all got to wear the same color or anything like that. You know what I mean? But, you know what I mean? We talking about in a spiritual matter. That's the point that's being stressed here. You know what I mean? Is that we not supposed to be divided. And what will divide us is when we teaching different things. However, this is talking about even just, brothers being divided on a scale of whether this brother is, officer of 5,000 or this brother's an officer of 50 or a trooper or a general or a captain or what have you. You know what I mean? Listen, we don't want to disrupt the balance of things. You know what I mean? We don't want a brother that's a trooper that sweep the floor or what have you, and he take out the trash, he sweep the floor, looked at like he's something less because he does that. You know what I mean? Well, he's not anything less because he does that. You know what I mean? And we give that brother the glory and the praise that he deserves. You know what I mean? We big them brothers up. You know what I mean? Like, brothers that's already high ranking and stuff like that, they don't need the praise. They already have power. They get, you know what I'm saying? There's an order to things, and once you climb up in the ranks, you know what I mean, brothers already have a certain amount of glory that's bestowed upon them by the Most High. You know what I mean? So therefore, it's not necessary to keep, bigging them up or what have you like that. You know what I mean? But the brother that do the thing, and well, not that you can't big him up, but that, you don't want to make it seem like, he's better than the trooper. You understand? Because rank doesn't make you better than a man. You understand? Like, just because somebody's higher ranking than you, it doesn't make him a better man than you. You know what I mean? But we all here working toward the same purpose, the same goal, the same mission. You understand? And that's what's important. And that brother that takes out the trash is just as important as the brother that takes out the camp. You understand? That's what this talking about. You know what I mean? Like, you got the foot, you know what I mean? The foot, you got somebody that's the foot, you got somebody that's the hand, you got somebody that's the eyes, you got somebody that's the ears of the operation. Like, there's different operations that we have. You know what I'm saying? You got brothers that's the shamar department. You know what I mean? They on lookout, they on watch. You know what I'm saying? The ears, and they hearing what's going on or what have you. And you got brothers that, you know what I mean, they excellent in the Karab or what have you. You know what I'm saying? You got brothers that's marvelous teachers and things of that nature. You know what I mean? Everybody can't be the greatest teacher. You know what I mean? Because then nobody can take out the trash. You understand? Everybody can't be on shamar because then, there's no brother to cook on the grill. You understand? It just, like, we are a body for a reason. A body has different members and they serve different functions. And because they have those different functions, the body is able to operate fluently. You understand? Like, now you can move. Like, if everybody, you know what I'm saying, we would be maimed. You understand? Like, you can't have no one arm. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna need two arms. You can't have not one foot. Then you know what I'm saying? You handicapped. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has a role to play that the Most High chose them to play. Everybody got a gift that the Most High gave them. You understand? And that's what the Lord decided. You know what I mean? But to bring it back to what we was talking about, you know what I mean? Now, just that, the Lord has a whole system in place to make sure that his house, to make sure his body stays intact. You know what I mean? To make sure that his body isn't handicapped. You know what I mean? He has whole systems in place to ensure that there's no division. You know what I mean? Not even between a trooper or a general. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like there's not a hatred. There ain't no internalized hatred that we have for one another. You know what I mean? Or envy or jealousy or anything like that. You know what I mean? The Lord established this thing so it can run like a well-oiled machine. You know what I mean? So if that's the case, now once again, the Lord go through all of this, setting whole systems in place to make sure that, you know, we don't feel inferior in a sense of importance to the work that we contributed to furthering the completion of the mission, you know what I mean, for the Most High. You know what I mean? Now, why does anyone think that the Most High would allow you to have a difference on a doctrinal matter? You understand? How can you have this one head per the body? You understand? Like, how can you have a chief priest? How can you have a bishop here? How can you have a commanding general? How can you have the most highest elder over here? And, you know, we all be perfectly joined together, man. This brother is teaching different things to the people that follow him. Everyone is teaching different things to the people that follow them. There's all core things that are agreed upon, you know what I mean? But however, everybody is teaching different things. Everybody's doing different things. You know what I mean? We not going out on, you know, how can we be perfectly joined together? How can we not have any schism in the body when, okay, you know, you going to camp over here, I'm going to camp over here, or we going to camp here, and we want to, you know, y'all see us at camp, and now you try to come and drown us out the camp, or, you know, we try to bounce you off the corner or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, well, how can you do that? You know, that doesn't make any sense. We're warring with each other because we're not brothers. You understand? We are brothers. You understand? Like, we brothers carnally, but spiritually, we are not brothers. We are enemies. Once it's at that point, now you're an enemy to me and my brothers. You understand? Even Christ said, who's my mother, who's my brother? Them that do the will of my Father. You know what I mean? Like, you are enemy to us. That's why we're taking action against you like you are an enemy. You know what I mean? That's why we moving you off the corner. That's why we drowning you out with the speakers. You know what I mean? Because we're not perfectly joined together. You know what I mean? There's schism in the body. If we are all the body. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? Let me see if it was any more on that. All right. What was we at? 20. All right. No sweat. So, that was pretty much it on 1 Corinthians 12 and 25, all right? So now we're going to go to Romans 16 and 17. Let's go to Romans 16 and verse 17, all right? 16, 17. Let me check this joint right quick. Salakia. No sweat. Right? Let me check this real quick. Salakia, y'all bear with me. I'm trying to get up on this thing. Alright. No sweat. Alright. So Romans 16 and 17. Alright. Romans 16 and 17. Let's get it. Romans chapter 16 and verse 17. Now I beseech you, brethren, mark them which cause divisions and offenses, understand, contrary to the doctrine which ye have learned, and avoid them. It says, mark them that cause divisions. You know what I mean? And offenses contrary to the doctrine which ye have learned. Like UPK, we've been unchanged since 1969. You know what I mean? Since 1969. All these new things started to emerge on the scene. You know what I mean? Like, that's why we have to, because like you get the cats that, that break off. That broke off, and then this cat comes up under this cat who was a break off and finds out he's not official, and then as opposed to going back to the essence, going back to the home of it all, and getting to the true nature of the thing, they break off again, and then they form their own group, their own school, and then that thing just keeps happening. And when they go off, it's because they like, this cat I was learning from, he taught me something. I don't believe what he was teaching me. I know this is saying this thing right here. Whatever he's saying is wrong. I know this is something else. And because he's wrong, I'm not gonna follow him no more. But what I'm gonna go out about this. I mean, now you got something new popping up on the scene. You know what I mean? And the UPK is since 1969. And because you got all these emergences of so-called Israelite groups with, various doctrines and, philosophies, it's the reason why we have to mark them. Like if you look at the beginning of our videos, we just say the Isupk is not affiliated with any other Hebrew Israelite group. That's why we have to say that. You know what I mean? Because them cats is causing division, man. And we got to mark them. And then we say, if it's not a the UPK and the Communitariana, it's not a truth. You know what I mean? So in a very general way, it addresses all of the error that's out there, and it separates us from the error, and it marks everybody else as being one who are in error. So we call them, but Christ marks that cause division. We gonna get it. For they the ones that teaching different to what they've been taught. I mean, that's from the Lord, Jesus, Yahweh Shah Mashiach, but their own belly. Like there's a slight difference between you and, if any at all, between you at this and Creflo Dollar, who wants a $64 million jet. You understand? Because I guarantee now you taking tithes. You know what I mean? And that you taking, you filling your own belly with it. You know what I mean? You're in them people's pockets and you stealing and you robbing or what have you. And it's a whole thing. It's a horrible thing. The tithes that you collected belong to commanding honor. You understand? Of Christ on this earth. They belong here. You understand? You filling your own belly. You know what I mean? You ain't worried about, you know what I mean, really doing a service to the Lord. You doing something the opposite. You know what I mean? And by good works and fair speeches, and by good words and fair speeches, deceive the hearts of the simple. You know what I mean? Like they gonna deceive a lot of brothers and sisters. And when it comes, and it's just gonna happen. They gonna deceive them, and because they are ignorant to the truth. You know what I mean? They meet the cat on the street talking about this Israelite stuff. You know, they know how to pimp you out your position. You understand? And show you a whole lot of that is going on. But let's that was pretty much shit on that, right? So let's go to Matthew 12 and 30. Yeah, let's go to Matthew 12. And gonna keep pushing with this thing here. All right. Matthew 12 and 30. All right. Matthew chapter 12 and verse 30. Let me see. I want to read up a little. No, you start right there. So now this is Christ talking. All right. Let me see. We'll start. Oh, it's lucky. Nah. All right. He that is not with me is against me. You know what I mean? Christ just said, he that is not with me is against me. Meaning what? Meaning if you're not rolling with Christ, you know what I mean? If you wasn't with Christ, you wasn't rolling with him like the disciples was rolling with him. You know what I mean? He is in me. He wasn't laboring on part of the king. You know what I mean? On orders from the king. You was against Christ. You know what I mean? Christ said it himself. He that is not with me is against me. Let's read on. And he that gathereth not with me scattereth abroad. Meaning, cool. You got 1,000, 10,000 people in your cool, man. You know what I mean? But you ain't gathering with Christ. You're not bringing these brothers and sisters back to Christ. You know what I mean? The only thing you doing is, let's read it. Scatter who, so I read that whole thing. And he that gathereth not with me scattereth abroad. Like you scattering everybody abroad, man. You got cats that ask you like, why is there so many Israelite groups? Like has many different groups? It's because everybody, they want glory and they want power. Nobody wants to fall in line and soldier up. This thing. You know what I mean? Say that's why, and he, you know what I mean? Everybody outside the UPK is just scattering abroad. You know what I mean? The brothers and sisters that could come and serve Christ, in the right order, and just scattering them abroad. I talked about earlier. This is what they like. This is the joint that frequently gets pulled to fire that is going on out here. And we'll disprove it yet again. All right. And 38, 9 and 38. So we'll go to 98. if, you know what I mean, if you think everybody is doing the will of the Most High. First of all, there's no way you could be doing the will of the Lord if you think everyone is doing it. You understand? That don't make no sense. Because if you disagree with the cat that says that it's okay to rape women, then, you know, you not doing that. You know what I mean? But he that doeth the will of my Father in heaven. You know what I mean? You believe that he's not doing the will of the Father, of your Father in heaven. You know what I mean? He's not doing the will of the Most High. You believe whatever thing that you in disagreement with, you know, you can't say that we, like, the whole thing is you just can't lump everybody into one and say that we all have the truth and we all doing the will of the Lord, because certainly we not. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? That's why when you call on the Lord, you're not going to get into the kingdom. You know what I mean? You won't be in the kingdom. You won't be in rulership in the kingdom. You know what I mean? Not going to be one of the 144,000, because why? Because you're not doing the will of the Most High. You know what I mean? All right. Many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name? Now, when we was just in Mark 9:38, right? John said he seen some cats on the corner teaching, and he forbid them, right? Now, the reason why, and he forbade them, and Christ told John not to forbid them, because he that is not against us is on our part. You know what I mean? Now, the reason why that's being pulled is to say that we don't have to be in the Isupk in order to, you know, drop the truth, in order to do the work of the Most High, or what have you. You understand? And they pull that scripture to try to justify, to justify their actions, to justify them not getting up in these ranks, in these holy ranks. Now, here we have Christ. He's saying, many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name? Right? And though you saying Bahashem Yahweh this and Bahashem Yahweh that, you know what I mean? Like you say, have we not prophesied in your name? Like when I went out there and I was teaching, I said Bahashem Yahweh and all of that. You understand? Like, no sweat. Let's read on. And in thy name have cast out devils. And look, Christ, I got all these brothers with me and these sisters. And you know what I'm saying? And because I went out there and, you know, I did the work in your name. And in thy name done many wonderful works. You know what I mean? I got on this TV show and I got on this channel, and, you know, I did many great things, and I was on this place over here dropping the truth, and I had food drives and things of that nature. You know what I mean? And in thy name have done many wonderful works. Let's read on to 23. And then will I profess unto them. Now, this is what Christ is going to say unto them brothers that thinking that they doing something in the name of in the name of the King. You know what I mean? Let's read on. And I will profess unto them, I never knew you. Depart from me, ye that work iniquity. You know what I mean? Christ is going to say that he never knew you. You know what I mean? That's what Christ is going to say. He's going to say, I never knew you. I didn't know you. Why didn't Christ know you? Because you ain't roll with Christ. and the disciples of Christ. You ain't roll with the real disciples of the King, man. You know what I mean? Like that's the whole point of that. Christ ain't gonna say he never knew you. You know what I mean? Um, let's get some more though. Let's slide over to Acts 19 and 13. All right, we'll slide over to Acts 19 and 13. Okay. Don't. 19 and 13. Before I do that, let me get up on here one more time and check something out. 19 and 13. Oh, no, that's not it. 19 and 13. We'll be at with it. Yeah, that's it right there. Most High Christ. All right. No sweat. So Acts, we're gonna go to Acts 19 and 13. All right. No sign of Christ. All right. Whew. Take them Jones off. Acts 19 and 13. Let's get it. No sweat. Let's get it. Acts 19 and 30. Salakia. Then certain of the vagabond Jews. You know what I mean? Why are these Jews vagabond Jews? Because Peter rose to power. Peter and you know the disciples, they rose to power. You know what I mean? And because they rose to power, you know what I mean, they became nothing. You know what I mean? These vagabond Jews became nothing. I mean, the same way that in the ISUPK we'll rise to power. You know what I mean? And these Christian churches will become nothing. You understand? So let's read on. Then certain of the vagabond Jews, exorcists, right? Exorcists what? Meaning that, you know, cats could cast out demons. You know what I mean? Like we read about in Matthew the 7th chapter and Mark the 9th chapter. So cats that thought they could cast out demons. All right? No sweat. Let's keep it pushing. Took upon them to call over them which had evil spirits. Meaning they took it upon themselves to, you know, call over brothers and sisters that had evil spirits on them. You know what I mean? Like you see in them, like you see on them church shows where they call the sister up that can't walk. She's in a wheelchair, what have you. They call her to the forefront or what have you. You know what I mean? Or somebody got some other type of ailment. They got cancer or what have you. And, you know, didn't I cure you the cancer? And they tell the whole people they got cured of the cancer. And all of that is fake, man. You know what I mean? So, let's read on. That's what they was doing out here. Shalaki. The name of the Lord Jesus, Yahushua, saying, we adjourn you by Yahushua, whom Paul preacheth. You know what I mean? Meaning they saying, we cast you out. We cast you out in the name of Christ, who Paul preaches. So they talking about they casting out demons in the name of Jesus. You understand? That's what they talking about they doing, all right? You know what I mean? Or much like these other cats, they thinking that they casting the demons out, brothers and sisters in the world, when they come up in there, and realistically they're not. You know what I mean? Let's read on though. All right, let's read on. And there was 7 sons of Sceu, a Jew, the chief of the priests, which did so. There was 7 sons that of this one man who was a Jew that did this thing. All right. And the man in whom the evil spirit, there was the man that these cats thought that they was casting a demon out of, right? Who they was casting the evil spirit out of, right? Let's read on. Leapt on them, right? He leapt on them. What does it mean when they say he leapt on them? Let's read on. And overcame them and prevailed against them, so that they fled out of the house naked and wounded. You know what I mean? What does it mean? When they say that he leapt on them, meaning that the demon that was the evil spirit that was inside the man made him. Hold on. Did I just? Oh, Salaki. Salaki. I skipped the verse. And the evil spirit answered and said, Salaki. And the evil spirit answered and said, Yahweh I know, and Paul I know. This is an important part that I missed. You understand? And the evil spirit answered and said, Yahweh I know, and Paul I know, but who are ye? You understand? Meaning that the demon inside this man, he didn't acknowledge their authority. He didn't acknowledge their power. And you see how he said the demon even knows Christ, and he knows Paul, and he did it in rank order. He said, Christ, he said, Yahweh I know, and Paul I know, but who are ye? Like, who do you think you are? Like, about to cast me out. You know what I mean? Like, they don't respect, the demons don't respect your authority. You know what I mean? And because of that, because they don't respect the authority that you have, is the reason why you get knocked out on the corners. You know what I mean? You get knocked out on them corners because they don't respect you. You get what you call? You get knocked out, you getting ran off of the corner. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? They getting ran off the corner completely. You know what I mean? Running and ducking. You know what I mean? All of that. Because the demons don't respect you. Meanwhile, on the other hand, when we go to camp, you know what I mean? Like Cap got the famous line where he said, cross the effing line or get the F out of here. You understand? And guess what happened? Ain't nobody crossed that line. You understand? Why? Because the demons even understand that we are coming in the spirit of the Lord. You know what I mean? We have the spirit of we coming in the right spirit of the Lord and the power of the Most High. You understand? We have that power and we have the spirit of the Lord. And even the demons know it. You know what I mean? But they don't notice it when it comes to these other cats. I mean, that's why they suffer so many great things. You know what I mean? And it's not to bash you. It's actually like, you know, you want to assess yourself because, You know what I mean? And the men that are around you and willing to go out there with you on the corners, because ultimately you putting them at risk. You understand? You putting them cats at risk. You know what I mean? And if you love them brothers that you rolling with, you know what I mean, you should think about if this is something that I should be doing, because I'm putting their life in jeopardy, putting them in danger. You know what I mean? So should I just take a step back for a second and see if I'm wrong? You know what I mean? Let me just see if I'm wrong in what I'm doing here. You know what I mean? Because clearly the demons is not respecting me. You know what I mean? My man's is getting knocked out, and you know, while he's out here supposed to be dropping the truth of the Most High. You know what I mean? Like how in the world is anybody able to come and stand before the Lord as, you know, a combatant and come out victorious? You know what I mean? Like, how you going to swing on a priest and prophet of the Most High and you prevail against him? You know what I mean? At that point, you prevailing against the Most High. So if you getting prevailed on at camp, you know what I mean, in combat of any form, now it's time to assess what's going on and say, well, maybe I'm not in the truth. You know what I mean? Maybe what I'm doing is wrong and I'm not right with the Lord. You know what I mean? If you won't adhere to, you know what I mean, verbal counsel from the priests and prophets of the Most High, then take the spiritual whooping that the Lord got to give you. You know what I mean? That the demons going to give you on them corners. You know what I mean? Yeah, ask yourself for a second if what you're doing is solid and is sound with the Most High. You know what I mean? And ultimately, if you're keeping it real with yourself, what you would have to come to the realization of is that you're not, you know, sound with the Lord. You know what I mean? That's why you getting whooped on that camp. You know what I mean? That's why you taking losses. You know what I mean? If you lose, that means that the Most High lost. You know what I mean? So if you losing, why are you losing? You understand? Let's think about it. Why are you losing? If the Lord is with you also, then why are you not winning? You know what I mean? We're winning. You know what I mean? However, let me see something real quick. Shalom, Lord of Christ. Salah. Yeah, but if you losing, man, you need to check that out. You know what I mean? To find out why you losing, man, because it's not a good look. It's not a good look. But let's get it. What was he at? 19 and 13? No sweat. No, he was at no sweat. And the man in whom the evil spirit was leapt on them and overcame them. You know what I mean? And prevailed against them. Now, that might be a little hard for your discernment's sake. But what this is actually talking about is that the demon that was on that man caused him to wipe the floor with them cats that called theyself casting out demons. You know what I mean? They called theyself casting out demons, but the demons didn't respect them. And because the demons didn't respect them, they leapt on the man, you know what I mean, and overcame him, and they prevailed against him. You know what I mean? They whooped his tail, man. They jacked them dudes up. You know what I mean? So that they fled out of the house naked and wounded. You know what I mean? So basically, they made them strip. They told them, listen, run your feet, run your pockets. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, strip. I need all that. You know what I'm saying? He did them dirty on the scene. You know what I mean? The demon that was on him, like he did him dirty. It was ugly. You understand? But and that's why we say, like, this is a scripture that we actually post. Is this the one? I don't want to say, but it might be. But this is why you don't just look at a UPK tape and then just assemble on a corner somewhere and say, I'm gonna do that thing. You know what I mean? You should never do that, because the brothers that's in here are trained professionals. They trained to do this thing. You know what I mean? In this work, and there's brothers that's been seasoned in here enough to know what to do in different situations or what have you, and how to conduct themselves on the corner ultimately. You know what I mean? So, we got a whole a code of conduct that we adhere to when we out at the camp. You know what I mean? As that's just bare minimum. And then other things that transpire when you out there that come with time that you learn to deal with. You know what I mean? So if you haven't experienced those things, you know what I mean, and then you just watch a UPK tape and say, I'm going to do that, you putting yourself and whoever's rolling with you at risk. That's a very dangerous thing to do. You know what I mean? Because you're playing with the work of the Most High, when you definitely should not do that. You know what I mean? You can't just roll, or you can't just come fresh from rolling a blunt and throw on a garment and then be like, you just watching the tape smoking a blunt and like, I'm about to do that thing. You understand? Yeah, I like that. I'm gonna go do that. You know what I mean? Nah, you can't. That's not gonna work like that. You understand? Definitely will not work. All right. You're gonna suffer grave repercussions. Possibly, if the Lord don't decide to have mercy on you out there. But this is the fate. This is a very, highly probable fate that you could potentially suffer from going out there on them corners and, perpetrating to be a man of the Most High. You know what I mean? Which is the reason why you definitely shouldn't. You know what I mean? If you don't respect, the brothers that been rocking these things out, and the brothers that came before you, and the reason that you have the knowledge of who you are, and your everything about who you are as it pertains to the scriptures, our records, then at least have the at least have some respect for the Most High. Have respect for what the Lord is doing. You understand? But with that, was that it on that? Yeah, that's pretty much it on that. And wounded, yeah, he beat him up, man. They was wounded. They came out of there with some. You could think they came out of there with some black eyes, or they might have got poked up, or what have you. Lost a couple of teeth. You know what I mean? Left there bloody, battered, busted to the white meat. You know what I mean? Like wounded. Probably broke their leg or something like that, limping out the joint, or what have you. But the cat did him something serious. All right. And where we at? So now, right? Let's drop that. We'll drop that. Let me see. I want to grab something else. Yeah, no sweat. So let's go to Numbers. We're gonna go to Numbers, the 6th chapter, and the first verse. All right. Let's go to Numbers, the 6th chapter and the 1st verse. All right. Let's get it. Numbers 6 and 1. All right. Ooh, too far. Numbers. Six and 1. All right, Salakia. Numbers chapter 6 and verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them. Right? So the Lord telling Moses to speak on to the children of Israel. All right, and this is what he's telling them to say. When either man or woman shall, hold on. Salakia, 16 and 1. Salakia. I said 6 and 1. I done, look straight past the 1 that was in front of the 6. 16 and 1. Salakia. All right. Now, Korah, the son of Izar, the son of Kohath, the son of Levi, and Dathan and Abiram, and the sons of Eliab, and on the son of Peleth, sons of Reuben, took men. Right? So now we dealing with pedigree. This is dealing with the pedigree and lineage of these men. All right, and it says that they took men. All right, and they rose up before Moses. Right, with certain of the children of Israel, 250 princes of the assembly, famous in the congregation, men of renown. All right. So now, you know what I mean? Think about it. These Israelites are what you call, they famous. You know what I mean? These are famous Israelites, and they rose up to Moses, all right, who was ordained to be in charge by the Most High. All right. Famous in the congregation. Let me see. I want to read that. 250 princes. You think about the 250 princes, right? Those 250 princes would be like men with money and power. You understand? Salakia. Read that one. Men of renown. All right. So, like I said, these 250 princes, they had money, they had power. You know what I mean? They princes. Look at the title that they hold. You know what I mean? And these were men that, you know, our people would look to as royalty because they had, you know, fame and money. You know what I mean? It was the same back in ancient Egypt as it is today. You know what I mean? Our people look at, you know, you got money and you famous or what have you, they gonna perceive you to be something special. You know what I mean? But let's let me turn this brightness up. I'm losing light. Salakia, y'all. Salakia. All right. And they rose up before Moses, and they gathered themselves together against Moses. All right. So they came together. They collectively came together with the purpose of coming up against Moses. All right. Let's read on. And against Aaron, you know what I mean? Because Aaron, of course, was rolling with Moses. All right. So, and said unto them, ye take too much upon you. All right. Seeing all the congregation are holy, every one of them, and the Lord is among them. Right? Slack here. And they gathered Salagi. And they gathered themselves together against Moses and said, and against Aaron, and said unto them, you take too much upon you. Right? You take too much upon you. When we say that's the equivalent to us saying, you take too much upon you, being that the Israelite school of UPK is the one body of Christ on this earth. You know what I mean? That's you taking too much upon you. And you could think that Moses and Aaron, Moses being who the Lord was dealing with at the time, and Aaron, you know what I mean? Because with Moses, who dealt with the Most High, you know what I mean? You could obviously understand as to how they felt the same way that cats is feeling today. You know what I mean? Like, they looking at it like, these cats is, they making outrageous claims that the Lord is only dealing with them. You know what I mean? That they the one body of the Christ on one body. The Israelite school of UPK is the one body of Christ on earth. You know what I mean? How could they say such a thing? Meaning, giving all the congregation are holy, meaning that the whole nation of Israel is the body of Christ. You know what I mean? Not just you and Aaron and anybody that follows you, brother. You know what I mean? We all Israel. You understand? Let's read on. And the Lord is among them. You know what I mean? Everybody has the truth, brother. And you can't just say that, if it's not of the ISUPK and the Commander General Yohana, it's not of the Lord. You mean to tell me if I'm not with the ISUPK under Commander General Yohana, you know what I mean? The Lord isn't with us? Yes, that's exactly what we are saying. You know what I mean? That's exactly what we're saying. If you're not with the ISUPK under Commander General Yohana, you're not doing the work of the Lord. Simple and plain. You know what I mean? That's just how it go. You know what I mean? Moses was who the Lord was dealing with at that time. Like, this is a reoccurring thing. Like, I mean, the cats think that they can do this and still be in, good favor with the Lord, when you really can't. You know what I mean? Because the Lord doesn't deal with everybody. You know what I mean? You got to show me a time, even in the scriptures, where the Lord dealt with everybody. You know what I mean? On a personal basis, you know what I mean? Where the Most High was, you know what I mean? Most High deal with one man. You understand? That's it. Most High was dealing with Moses. You know what I mean? And Aaron didn't deal with the Most High. You know what I mean? Moses dealt with the Most High. But because Moses dealt with the Most High, he was able to tell Aaron what the Most High wanted. And Aaron communicated that to everybody else. You know what I mean? I went. You know what I mean? Christ on the scene. Christ, the Most High, dealing with Christ. You understand? Christ dealt with the disciples. The disciples didn't deal with the Most High. You know what I mean? The disciples dealt with Christ. You understand? The disciples dealt with Christ. Christ dealt with the Most High. The disciples went and they taught everybody what Christ taught them, was taught to Christ by the Most High. Like, you understand? That's how I go. You know what I mean? With a man of the Lord on the scene. You feel what I'm saying? He ain't rocking. He ain't popping up on everybody. It's one order. You understand? Everybody don't like. everybody don't get to talk to the boss. You understand? Everybody don't meet the plug. You understand? Like that's not how it goes. Let's read on. And the Lord is among them. Wherefore then lift up wherefore then lift you up yourselves above the congregation of the Lord. Now, so they saying, we all have the truth, brother. You know what I mean? The Lord is with all of us. So how are you going to say that the Lord is only with you? You know what I mean? You putting yourself above everybody else. You understand? You putting yourself above everybody else. You know what I mean? Wherefore you lift yourselves up. Meaning what? Meaning we say the same thing today. You know what I mean? That thing where we say, Commander General Yohana is the head of the Isupk. You understand? And the leader of every Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian. Second only to Christ. You understand? Like, they saying, God dang, these cats is lifting themselves up. When we say that, a trooper in our school ranks your head, ranks your chief priest, your bishop, your deacon, you know what I mean? Your elder. A trooper in our school outranks your head priest. You understand that? Your chief priest. Wherefore you lift yourselves up above the whole congregation. Get all of them are holy. You understand? Like, that's we know, like, and then you got to think about it also, right? These cats are bold in the way that they coming up to Moses, because like you got the audacity to come up to Moses with this rhetoric, with this, whatever is going on inside your little brain, to think to step to Moses with this when you just seen him in Egypt. You just seen Moses in Egypt, and he gave the order, put the blood on your door, what have you, and the angel of death went and killed the firstborn of everything, and the Israelites stayed safe, were unharmed by the Israelites that obeyed were unharmed by that event, by that tragic event where the death angel came and killed the firstborn of everything in Egypt. You know what I mean? Like, they just seen the brother, the Most High give the brother the power to split the Red Sea. You know what I mean? And seen Pharaoh's army drowned inside that Red Sea. And with all of that, yet and still, when the brother, when we say that there's only one body, Moses says that there's only one body, and you know what I mean? How could you even fix your mouth to speak against that? Did the Lord put the Spirit on you to part the Red Sea? Did the Lord put the Spirit on you to get, no, he did not. You know what I mean? Well, likewise in here, brother. You understand? Like, it might not seem like it, but just to wake a brother or sister up to the truth and the time that we in now is an amazing thing. You know what I mean? It is absolutely amazing. You know what I mean? And there's brothers that come up in here and, they suffer from mental things, and, when they find this truth, them things leave them brothers and sisters, whether it come from counsel or it come from the Most High or what have you. You know what I mean? The counsel that you receive, you know what I mean, help you or whatever, you know what I mean? But you get alleviated of all of the mental troubles, the woes that's plaguing you, you know what I mean? You come up in here and you'll see the reflection of your old man in your old life. You know what I mean? And you'll see how that man that was living that life versus the one that is living this life that is because they found the truth. You know what I mean? You'll see a complete shift, and you'll realize, listen, the only, like, when I say look at the reflection, I'm talking about those brothers and sisters that you was in the world with, and you looking at them and you seeing what they suffering and what they going through, and you seeing all the hell that's troubling them, and you looking at your situation now because now you serve and you follow the Most High. You know what I mean? The water to the Lord, and the, you know what I mean, the men he raised up to teach us this truth, because you could be in prison, you could be dead, you know what I mean, you could be high out your mind somewhere, be a drug addict somewhere in these streets, you know what I mean, you could be in all types of hell, dealing with all manners of wicked women, evil women, stuck with them women, you know what I mean, or what have you. But now you're not. You know what I mean? You done escaped all of that. You know what I mean? You done came into the truth, and that wicked broad that you was with, you understand? She leaves you. You understand? And it's a blessing from the Most High that wicked broad left you. You know what I mean? Yeah, well, and if you had stayed with her in the world and you continued to smoke weed with her, and you continue to pop pills with her, you understand? You continue to rob and steal, and y'all thinking y'all Bonnie and Clyde or what have you, you would have stayed in the world with her. Well, surely, you know what I mean, she would have stayed with you. But because you left that, you don't give her that excitement, that thrill, selling drugs and, robbing people and being a drug addict and a drunk with her. You understand? She's looking at you like you something new under the sun. You ain't lying. You ain't beating up on her no more. She wants you to whoop on her so bad, the demon in her. You know what I mean? You won't whoop on her or nothing. You understand? And because of that, she gonna leave you. And it's a blessing from the Most High. And you just looking at all these things that you have escaped from being in the world by coming in this truth. And it's absolutely beautiful. You understand? It's wonderful. You know what I mean? It's something that should be cherished. You know what I mean? Let me finish reading, though. And when Moses heard it, he fell upon his face. You know what I mean? And when Moses heard this, when he heard these cats come up to him and speak ill against him and try to question his authority, you know what I mean? Moses, he fell upon his face. You know what I mean? Was he falling upon his face in fear or what have you? Or no, he wasn't falling upon his face in fear. You know what I mean? But when it say he fell upon his face, he got down before the Most High. And, because Moses was a compassionate brother. He knew that the Most High, he knew that the Lord was going to destroy them for questioning his authority. Because Moses dealt with the Most High, and he knows how much of a terrible power the Most High can be. You understand? The Most High ain't dealing, he ain't, like, how dare you question me? You understand? How dare you question Moses, who I ordained to be in charge at this time? Moses didn't set himself up and say, I'm going to be the man on the scene. You know what I mean? No, Moses didn't do that. But what did happen? The Lord put Moses in position to be in charge. That was the Most High's doing. So now when you step in before Moses, ultimately, you stepping before the Most High and you questioning the decision that the Most High is making. You saying that the Most High is lying. You understand? You saying that when you say, listen, we all holy. The Lord is with all of us. The Lord ain't just dealing with you, brother. Man, like, how you gonna lift yourself up? Who said you in charge here? You know what I mean? Listen, the Lord made that be. So now, you got to understand the position that the Lord is in. Like, these cats is coming and they questioning. Now it's time to make an example. You understand? We got to make an example out of somebody. Like, you got to think. That's why the Most High is gangster, man. Don't play with the Most High. The Most High is a straight G. You know what I mean? You think, some cat, mess with you out there on the street, and you like, man, you know what? I'm gonna make an example out this cat. You understand? I'm gonna make an example out of him, and then that way everybody know not to with me. You understand? Well, that thing, yeah, he does it very well, and he does it the best. You know what I mean? Like, you gonna kill one cat, you gonna put a hole in one cat or shoot one cat. The Most High is gonna take out 1,000 of you, take out 3,000, and make an example out you and say, watch who you step into. You understand? But Moses just fell to his face, and he know the character of the Most. He know the Most High is a man of war. You understand? He know the Lord is a man of war. He saw the Most High drown Pharaoh's army in the Red Sea. You understand? He saw the Most High send all the plagues on Pharaoh. He saw the Most High, taking out the Israelites that was speaking ill against him in the in the wilderness. Most High setting fires amongst them and all of that. You understand? They speaking against Moses. You know what I mean? Smiting them with leprosy. Moses see how the Most High is dealing. So he getting a feel for it now. He like, listen, let me just fall down and let me pray. You understand? Please, Lord, don't kill these Negroes. They do not know what they doing right now. You understand? They don't know who they step into. They don't know what their actions are causing right now. You understand? Like, Moses was a very compassionate brother. That's why when he was in Egypt, you got to think about it. Moses was in Egypt, and when he saw the Egyptians smiting the Hebrew, what did Moses do? You know what I mean? Moses went, and that was the equivalent to like a police officer at that time. That Egyptian that Moses killed would be like the equivalent to a police officer in this kingdom. You know what I mean? And he slew that joint because he saw him whooping on his brother. That's like you rolling down the street and you see a police officer, beating up on a Jake in the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, hell, you know what I mean? Nah, we ain't having that. And then you go and you know what I mean? You take that joint and you blast it, you know what I mean? Disarm them and blast them with the joint or something like that. You understand? Well, that's the equivalent to what Moses did, but it's because he had that much